Warning! The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that may be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming. Unlike my regular videos where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. Oh, I'm actually getting better at reading at this thing, huh? Almost. I just ruined it. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited pre-recorded videos instead. You see, I spoke too soon about that. Viewer discretion is advised. Here we go. Oh no. Sneak peek. Hold on. It's not like it's not like I'm running a professional thing here, so you guys all know how that works. So hello everybody, welcome to another live stream, live drawing stream or whatever. Forgive me if I seem a little out of it. I almost fell asleep before I was supposed to go on the air. It's like I figured, oh, let me just lie down and just take a really quick cat nap, and it almost ended up a full straight on sleep, and I woke up pretty much just in time just to set everything up and whatnot. So bear with me. I'm still waking up technically. So hello everyone. So my name is Daphne Lage and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992 because I don't know what else to do with my life if I wasn't. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which is currently on pre-launch on Kickstarter. So head on to the link that in the show notes below, where you can click on the link to get notified when the campaign goes live on June 13th, 2022, which is just less than a week away. We're going to be launching it on Monday. So I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Egoraven, Heir of the First Unicorn, with Volume 1 collecting issues 1 through 4, also dropping on Kickstarter later on this year. But for now, everything is about Tall Tales right now. I am also co-host with Nita Lanning on the Ragin to the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday on the Ragin 2 network, which you might be seeing this stream also from. So you can, so then our next show is going to be on Friday, so you can join us for that as well. So, but in the meantime, my banner, there we go. But in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales Online, TAILS, and egoworks.com up here, EGOWRKS. All the links are in the show notes below. And you can check out all of my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art. If you're seeing this on Facebook, I'm also broadcasting to Facebook. So if you're joining us from Facebook, come on over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my channel. If you're watching this on Ragin, subscribe to that channel too. Subscribe to all our channels. Let's lift all boats here. I'm still trying to get my channel over the 940 mark. Holy crap. It's like I keep seeing it going 40, 39, 40, 39, 40, 39. I'm getting really tired of it. So a couple of people subscribe so I can finally get this channel above 940 so I can stop looking at that number. But really, come on over to YouTube, where it's a lot easier to join the chat and for me to see your comments. And hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of my streams go live or any of the shows that I'm on Ragin also go live. We have tons of shows on Ragin for you to watch. So like I said, make the algorithm gods happy and hit that subscribe button. So thank you so much for showing up. I barely did. I know, like the last couple of weeks, I haven't been doing a stream because just a lot was going, just a lot going on between the office and just catching up on end of the month stuff or beginning of the month stuff, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, but I figured I finally do, push through another stream today because I still have a lot of work that needs to be done. And yeah, so let's see. So what do we have? A little bit of housekeeping. Actually, not really. I mean, like I said, I told you about the campaigns that are about to go live. Like I said, all the links are in the show notes. My show with Nita and whatnot. We do have a show. If you stick around after this stream, we are going to be on a episode of It Came From the Radio with Mark Torres. And actually, it's a interview with Nita, but she asked me to come along to kind of be her emotional support cartoonist, and also because Zoom is a horrible program. And it needs two people to kind of figure it out. So yeah, so if you want to check that out as well, that one, if I don't think I have a link to that in the show notes, but after the show, I'll try to find it and put a link up to that so you can follow us over to Mark Torres's channel. It Came From the Radio. Actually, I think his channel is called It Came From the Radio, so you can look that up on YouTube as well. So yeah, so a lot of been really busy this past since the beginning of June, since the beginning of last month, since the beginning of the year. You guys know how it is. Yeah, I'm still finishing up. I just I didn't just get. I mean, but I do have. If you supported the Egoraven campaign, I got the sketch covers for the missing. I guess because I had miscounted my order, so I'm working on that. So hopefully soon I'll get the last of the orders out for that, for everybody who hasn't received your order, but you did order a sketchbook, that's a sketch cover. That's why. So that's on my list. I am still working on the Egoraven Oswald crossover story. So for everybody who supported those two campaigns, Egoraven and Oswald, I still am working on that story. I wish I was faster. That's all I can say. But the second I have it done, everybody's going to get a link to that story to download. It's a really cute story, and I want everybody to enjoy it. So yeah, so keep an eye out for that. I am working on that. And let's see. So who's in the chat today? Oh, here you go. Oh, hi, James. Welcome. Hello. Oh, and here we go. The man of the hour, Mark Torres. Yes, I am holding her virtual hand. And because he is a scholar and a gentleman, or however that phrase goes, here is the link to the show. If you want to watch it or be part of the audience for it. So there you go. So the link to that show is in the chat as well. Yeah, that's yeah. So that's hopefully. Oh, okay. So he's posting it from Facebook. So I got worried there for a minute because I know YouTube can be a little persnickety with links in the chat, but no, this is a YouTube. So yeah, so I will take that and I will put it in the show notes as well after the stream. So let me see. So what else has been going on? Well, if you haven't been following me on the vlogs, on the Ragin vlogs on Mondays and Fridays, I started writing a novel, and this is a huge this is a huge endeavor for me because it's going to be my first novel that's not a fanfic. I have written a long form prose story before, but that was strictly a fanfic that I wrote. So this is going to be the first non-fanfic novel pretty much that I'm writing. So I am writing the novel, the storyline that comes after the first 15 issues of Egoraven, Heir of the First Unicorn. And even though we're only up to issue 4, issue 5, it comes out at the end of the year. You know me, maybe, maybe there is a couple of scenes in there, but hey, you know me, it's like, look, a novel allows me to do things with a little bit more carefree attitude than if I was doing a comic. So, which is the reason why I'm kind of moving in. Well, not completely moving in, but so like I said, Egoraven is 15 issues, and I have that completed, and I have a bunch of stories that's supposed to come after that. But I had a huge debate as to whether I'm going to do them as a comic or as some kind of comic / novel hybrid. Because it's a lot of work, doing a comic is a lot of work, and 15, and to get these initial 15 issues out, I mean, I have the Kickstarter scheduled until 2025. So 2025 is when you're going to see the completed 15 issues. So if I have a lot more story, it's like, I don't want to spend another 5, 10 years, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years just to get another story or so out when I have so much more to tell. So after going back and forth and really like thinking about the pros and the cons of doing comics as opposed to doing novels, which it's like it has its things. Comics is a very visual medium and whatnot, and and it'll be consistent with the series. But a novel, prose in general, allows me to put in a lot of storytelling elements that I couldn't put in prose. I mean, in a comic book. Because it would just bog down the story and it would just meander too much. But in prose, I can do that. And it's kind of like accepted. Like, you can go on tangents. It's like, as long as it's world building, it's explaining the, like the environment and whatnot. It's like most people, I mean, I've never, it's like you can kind of do your own thing, you just, as opposed to comics where I would have to cut out so many scenes just to get the story to just basically function as a comic, but it wouldn't be the story I wanted to tell. So, So I finally came to the decision to do this as a novel. I had researched a couple of illustrated novels, and I really got inspiration from Japanese light novels, where they just have like a couple of illustrations inside. It's there like it's an illustrated novel, except light novels I think are specifically like their version of YA. But so hey Pops, hey Nita, hey Okia Fern, I see you guys, yeah. That's what it feels like. Like everything is just, I've been working on Egoraven for so long, and it just feels like that finally making the decision to do a novel, like everything's finally coming together. Yeah, well, you see, the problem is that getting, I would only be able to tell a story. I wouldn't be able to tell a story past the second season because one, next Netflix, you know how they like to cancel everything after the second season, unless it's like Stranger Things or something, and hey Pops, hey there. So yeah, it's like I think Nita is scheduling the whole thing with CromCon so that we'll be on CromCon, I think, in 2 weeks or something, at the end of the month. Jesus Christ, already we're talking about the end of June. It feels like we just started June and already we're talking about the end of June. But so yeah, so I decided, so I really liked the format of Japanese light novels, and I decided that was how I was going to do it. So it's going to be Right now, I'm looking at a 4x6 format with illustrations, prose with illustrations in it, and I'm really looking forward to it. Right now, if you guys are curious as to my page, kind of like my page count, my word count, my current word count right now is 27,377 words. So I have been pounding on this thing. I have an outline for it, so that's why it's kind of like really easy right now. I've had this outline done for a bit. It's just that I didn't know what format I was going to do it. So the outline is really making it easy for me to get through all the scenes. Yeah, it is a lot of words. It is a lot of words, and I don't expect all of them to survive the editing. The editing when I'm done. But it depends on what my super crack team of beta readers think about it. It's like, yeah, I'm actually, putting together a list of, I mean, I'm probably not going to be done with this for another couple of months. And already I have a list of people who I want to test this novel to see. The strange the strange thing that I kind of like, not strange, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's just a very exciting process for me right now. So like I said, I've just been hammering it, and I have to actually force to remind myself that I have other things that are still pending that I have to finish. The novel is requiring me to shift around my schedule a bit for the year, because I still have issue 8 for Egoraven to finish. Um, and I have, because like I have 6, 7, and 8. 6 and 7 are penciled. 8, I'm in the middle of laying out, which then I have to pencil. I have this novel, and then I have to ink. I have to ink and letter because I want to get all this work done, at least those issues done, because those are the books that are coming out next year. So I at least want to have them done so I can get the Kickstarters together, get them approved, and then have all my campaigns for next year ready to go. Yeah, that's how far in advance I have to think about this. So the novel kind of pushed a couple of things around, but as long as I keep my main focus on what I have to put out for next year, I'm okay with it. So my schedule is not too bad. I can still function with what I have. Um, so yeah, so right now I'm at the point of the story where my comic book brain keeps kicking in, going, you need an action scene here, you haven't put an action scene in for a while. And I'm not sure how like how that this is going to work. So I was just complaining to Nita about it, where it's like, it's like I'm beginning, because there's this whole thing, there's this kind of like this unwritten rule in comics that each issue has to have like a fight scene in it. Each issue has to have a fight scene, right? This was more of a, I think that's something that I heard Jim Shooter had said, that every issue has to have a fight scene, or like every couple of like every X amount of pages. And I'm kind of, but with prose, that's different. It's very different. But so I kind of have to shut off my comic book brain a little bit to able to kind of like get through the scenes that are in my outline. So, and then it's like, okay, whatever needs to be shifted around or whatever needs to be added, we can worry about that after the first draft. So the first draft is just going to me is just me going through my outline and putting in everything that's in my outline on into that draft. And then, and then after that, I'll get my beta readers, and then we'll decide afterwards. It's like, oh, is it too much? Is it too little? That whole thing. Um, all I know is that JD gave me two pieces of advice that right now at this moment I completely forgot one. So maybe that's not important right now. So you know, he just you know, yeah, I mean, you know, if there was another piece of advice that I remember him mentioning, is that the first draft is where you put everything you want in it. You put everything, you know, so you know, the kitchen sink, the whole thing, you know, and then you kill your darlings on the edit. So that's going to be a little tough, because um I'm, you know, I'm really enjoying every scene that I'm writing, but I know that depending on how the readers, you know, how people are reading this, because it's very easy for me to say that because I know the characters intimately, I know the story, I know everything. You know, it's my story, so of course. But when we get to people reading it who, well, one, they're going to have to read the comic book, the comic book series to understand the book. I mean, it's like that's also one thing that I had to really come to terms to. This isn't going to be a novel that someone who doesn't know anything about the story can just jump into. This is literally going to be a continuation of the 15 issues of the comic. So it's, so you have to, you know, you have to read, you know, that book. You have to read those stories in order to understand, to really understand what's going on in the novel. So so there's kind of that to maneuver around, because what I definitely didn't want to do was spend so much time retelling the story, where it's like it feels like, you know, it's like, you know, it's kind of like how everybody groans at every Spider-Man movie that comes out, because I go, oh my god, are we gonna see the whole shit with Uncle Ben again? I mean, I think we collectively know as a culture the origin story of Spider-Man, so we do not need to see it again. um so it's kind of like this on a much smaller scale. I really am requiring everybody to be familiar with the comics when they come out, when the novel comes out, because like I said, it's going to be a direct continuation. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I was also concerned about the fact that could I transition comic book readers to a novel. That was also another concern that I had with this. And the whole idea with doing an illustrated novel seemed to kind of calm my fears about that. Because it's like, as long as there's that artwork element, heavy artwork element to the book, because you know me, I'm not going to just put like 2 or 3 illustrations, you know, in a novel and call it a day. It's like, no, it's like I want this thing to be full of illustrations, you know. Not so much that I might as well have done a comic, but enough to really be complementary to the prose, as well as offering that bridge of being a bridge from the comics into the novel. And the one thing that I'm really really excited to do with this is getting back to doing black and white illustrations. I ever since I started printing Egoraven in full color, and kind of like everything has been kind of been full color since then. I miss doing like really densely inked black and white stuff, you know. So I'm looking forward to going back to that too, because like, no, the novel is not going to be in color. That's, you know, that's just not what it is. um and yeah, it's going to have black and white illustrations, and yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's kind of like me coming full circle in some strange way, you know. So yeah, so that's oh yeah, it's like that's kind of, yeah, more action, less dialogue. Yeah. And what's funny, I just changed a scene. I think I had written out a scene as a description, and then decided that, oh, I'm, too much going on, but not enough dialogue. So then I ended up converting that scene into, well, I converted that description into a scene, which I think works better than just. I mean, writing prose is such a different animal from doing comics. It requires a lot of experimenting on my part. So we'll see how that works out. Honestly, I'm like I said, I'm enjoying the process. I'm really looking forward to the finished result of it. I can see it in my head, so I don't have to guess too hard. And I'm just hoping that everybody who's enjoying Egoraven Air the First Unicorn right now will continue on with the ride, even with an illustrated prose story. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, so like I said, I have we still got work to do though. I can't spend all my time just writing prose. If it wasn't for me having to do the stream, I probably would still be writing. So at least this way I kind of force myself to actually work on something else in the meantime. What was funny was that before I was doing all the work and then kind of like sneaking in paragraphs in between. Now it's the opposite. Now it's like I'm writing the novel and then sneaking in other like art things that I have to do in between. And it's like, oh no. I have to, I have to organize myself better. So let me see what I got here. Hold on. So yeah, okay. All right, I can get rid of that one. Okay. I haven't cleaned up my stream in a couple of weeks, so it's a little, messy right now. So okay, so on that, so we're just hitting the first half hour. So like I said, there's always work to be done. So I'm going to throw a couple of bumps, and then we're going to move on to the drawing table, and then I'll show you what I'm up to for this. And yeah, and that's, and then we'll just do the usual that we do, so if you have any questions or whatnot, or you want me to talk about something or anything, just mention it in the chat, and we'll see how that goes. So okay, so let me do that, and I'll be right back.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Cast the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Okay. There we go. At least I was actually able to get myself together before the bumps finished. There we go. So at least let me put on all my lights. Okay, so here we are at the table. As you can see, it's a little it's a little I don't know, it's going to be a little odd for me today. I'm doing something something different, but not really. So let me just look. Oh, hey Mike, how you doing? Yeah, so today, what I'm working on is I am working on the Homage cover, I guess you could say. That's also kind of popular on crowdfunding as well, along with your pinup covers or whatnot. Except this is actually a cover for Glenn Fleming for his magazine Comics Unlimited. One of the things that I had to finish, which I did, by the way, I did finish. I do have an article that I finished for him. I was supposed to have finished it a couple of months ago, but you know how it goes. So I did finally finish the article, and now I just need to do the corresponding cover to it. He gave me the cover for the magazine, so I'm really chuffed about that. So I thought, what special way to thank Glenn for his patience and for cover space, then to kind of do like a Jack Kirby homage for his cover. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So, oh, thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, I thought I'd try something a little bit different. So after looking over like a bunch of, I figured Thor would be the closest. That would be closest to my wheelhouse, because it's like I've been, so it's like I've been like really studying like John Buscema and Frank Thorne covers lately, especially all the Conan and Red Sonja stuff. And, but like I said, I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I started, so I was looking up, Kirby stuff, and I go, okay, so I definitely wanted to do a Kirby parody, but I still needed it to be something that, that was still familiar to me. So, so I figured Thor would be the closest. And after going through a lot of searches, this was the one that stood out for me the most. I go, yeah, this is the one I could work on. And this is the cover. What is it? Thor 177, 15 cents. Look at that cover price, 15 cents. I don't think I've ever seen a comic 15 cents in my entire life. I swear to God, that's pretty amazing, kind of amazing and sad at the same time, because it's like, if you think about, like comics are just way too expensive, for kids to casually get into. And it's let's see. So it looks like I'm getting a lot of lag on my camera. So let me just reset that. And let me just sometimes, let's see. Let me reset that. Oh, look at that. You get to see how fat I am. That's great. Okay, hold on. Let me okay, let me try to figure this out. Let's see. Why is this freaking out? And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, because oh, here it is. Okay, so let me close that. Okay, let me do that again. Okay. All right. Look, it's like, watching a stream. It's like, going to karaoke. Nobody expects you to, nobody expects you to belt out Whitney Houston songs sounding like Whitney Houston. So, okay, I think that did it. Hold on. All right. Okay. All righty. Okay. All right. Okay. I think that did it now. Of course, and of course it couldn't it couldn't have sorted itself out before I was, you know, when I was testing everything before. Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah. So okay, so where were we? All right. So what I essentially did was actually the original the JPEG that I was working on was so small and shitty that only now am I realizing what's going on in this corner here. So I actually have to fix the sketch before I kind of work in this area, but luckily there's enough of everything else for me to work on, so I can save that for last. So what I did on the computer, so I took the JPEG of this the smaller JPEG that I based this on, that I had of this. And then I did like a rough sketch, this rough sketch. I don't know if you guys can see. I know that blue line is not exactly, you know, camera friendly. So I did this rough sketch digitally just to get the positionings the way I want, because I wanted it to look, to really look like the piece. I really wanted it like, you know, you look at the cover and it's like, yeah, that's where this comes from. It's not, you know, a based on kind of thing. It's like, no, I actually wanted to look like I traced it. So so that's what I did. So I put in all the figures in the right positions, you know, and it's, you know, as close as possible. And like I said, I'm going to have to go back in and now that I know what's going on here, to fix up this corner here. But like I said, there's enough here. And then I printed out, I have a Canon Pixma Pro, which I have pretty much solely to make blue lines. And that's what I did. So I printed out my blue line, and now I'm going to tighten up the pencils on this to get it to the piece that I want. And also, I just remembered that there's also another piece of reference that I wanted to have open so that I could refer to it. And actually, technically, I think I have it on my phone too, so I could have done that. But let me do that. So I'm opening that piece of reference on the on my other computer here. Well, on the main computer. Let's see. Let's see. What issue is that? Oh, yeah. So that's... Okay. There we go. All right. That's what I'm looking for. All right. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is... I think for this one, I was trying to decide whether I was going to use another like blue line on top of it, or use my red pencil instead. I'm kind of deciding here. You know what? Let me you know what? Let's just go full on blue. You know, it's like that's so let me just adjust this. So I'm just going to get this thing out of the way. This I'm just going to slide it up. You know, because it's good for holding the paper until I actually have to work, and then it kind of gets in the way because I need my paper to go lower than it. You know, because you see, it's like, you know, that thing is, you know, because the chair that I have now doesn't go high enough to kind of like allow me to compensate for that little jump. So, okay, so we're just going to move this out of the way. Yes, let's see. So let me Let me see. Let me do this. Okay, because that's also the thing, though. It's like the ledge is convenient, but without it, I need to use a little bit of tape just to keep everything from sliding off the table. So okay, so let me put this here. And let's see. I'll leave this. Okay, I'll leave the tape here. Okay, so all right. Okay, so all right. So let me set up a little mood music here, courtesy of Streamyard. And and we'll start working and see how this goes. So let's see. All right, so okay, so how's all right, so let's do a mic check in the chat. So how does that sound? Is it too loud compared to my voice, or should I lower it a bit? I mean, on my end, it might sound a little loud, but I'm not sure if that's just my headphones. Let's see. Wow. Hold on, maybe I like this one better. Hold on. Oh, that's the one I like better. Yeah, the other one was a little, I don't know. There we go. I think I'll stick with this one. Okay, sounds okay? All right, good. Thank you, Nicholas. Okay, let's see. Oh, what just happened? Oh, where's my thing? Oh, okay. Hold on. I lost that. I clicked the wrong tab here. Okay. All right. So, all righty. So, so we have Lucky Neko in the house. Right. Hello. So, all right. So let's get this piece started. Because eventually I have to finish this and also get this colored and, send this off to Glenn. So. Now, the thing is, though, I'm only really going to go with copying the poses, not the style. That's kind of, no, not yet. No, hello, Joe. No, Jake is not in, so no fanfare yet. No fanfare yet. Let's see. Oh, where's my Photoshop? My Photoshop disappeared. Oh, okay, here we go. Wow. Oh, hold on before I accidentally knock myself out here. Hold on. Oh, knock myself out in terms of pressing the wrong button and ending the stream a lot quicker than I mean to. So what So what my point of this piece is more to copy the poses rather than stylistically. So yeah, I'm not sure if I want to copy that inking, because I think that inking might be a little too bold for me, to try, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Yeah. So, let's see. So, because I was thinking of a couple of things here. So yeah. So, homage covers really do seem to be really popular on a lot of campaigns, and I'm kind of, my question is like, what exactly is the appeal of an homage cover? Um, is it the fact that you're recreating like kind of like seeing somebody else's character in that same type of cover, like that like an iconic cover, like the one that I see a lot of is I guess it's the what Spider-Man 300 or something. Um, I think it's either Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 300, the Todd McFarlane one. And then like another one, of course, like there are people who like really like to parody the Spider-Man, like the classic Spider-Man. I think that the actual Spider-Man #1, where the one where he's swinging and he has the guy in his arm. And then of course there's action #1 with the Superman and the car. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, because the pinup covers that I see on campaigns, like, okay, those kind of make sense to me. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's all right. So hold on. Let's okay. I'm glad you're doing an homage and not just a cosplay copyright infringement cover. I am amazed what some people get away with. Now the thing is, what do you mean by now? Are you talking about like literal cosplay, like people doing, dressing up and photographing, or could you clarify that a bit? Because it's like, I think I understand what you mean. But I just want to make sure. So, like, what would be an example? Like, you don't have to name names, but it's like, what would be an example of a copyright infringement cover? Because it's like I'm talking in the context of people using their own characters to parody iconic covers. I guess it would be like what I'm doing right now. It's like, but at the same time, I kind of think that like this, I'm doing a direct copy of, like, okay, these are the poses. Like I said, I want people to look at it. It's like, oh yeah, that's this. With some of the John Buscema and the Frank Thorne stuff that I've been working on, I have been doing like less copying and more like, I don't know, kind of like rearranging, like taking some base elements of a cover and then like trying to like arrange it in my own way. And although technically you can still kind of recognize some of the elements, but like at what point, I don't know. I'm not, you know what? Maybe I should have taken that nap. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. I have seen both, where they're in the uniforms, including logos, or just hiring a cosplay model to pose that doesn't even match. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like, I don't. Sometimes, honestly, I think that's sometimes that's creators kind of making variant covers for the sake of variant covers. You know what I mean by that? Let's see. Here we go. So Joe says, to me, homage covers are only good when the characters in the homage can relate to the cover situation. I've hated a lot of Spider-Man 300 homages because they're carbon copies of a pose. Okay, that doesn't relate to the character it's in. That's true. Okay, all right. I do understand that. Those are strange. those, because it's like, yeah, that's what, when I was looking to do an homage cover for this, I didn't just grab any cover that Kirby did. It's like, it still kind of need to make visual sense to me. Which is why I ended up narrowing it down to Thor for this. But like, yeah, for me to do like a Spider-Man 300 homage cover with Egoraven doesn't make, yeah, it doesn't visually make any sense to me. But let's see. It's like, oh, and that's the at that point is something the artist has to decide, but seems risky. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I just kind of run with it and see what happens. I mean, because the whole point of me kind of like doing the rearranging is like trying to figure out what is it that makes a cover, what makes Basima so effective in doing covers, as opposed to just doing like a pinup. You know, it's like, you know, so it's like, yeah, so yeah, probably I kind of like get skirt really close to that line, but I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that it's in the eye of the beholder. Like if somebody comes to me and says, it's like, oh, I know what cover you got that from, I'd be like, thank you. Because I did. You know, I'd probably just be like that. So let's see. Let's see. I didn't like the Todd McFarlane homage of his Spider-Man 300 that he did with Spawn for that reason, because it didn't seem like it related to the character. It was kind of like Todd McFarlane parodying Todd McFarlane, right? You know. So yeah, but also like my other point that sometimes it just comes off as creators trying to do variant covers for the sake of doing variant covers and having variant covers, as opposed to it like actually meaning something, I guess. But Kickstarter, it kind of made people weird in certain ways. With that, in terms of like, here's a platform that, oh, well, yeah, it's like, oh, well, you see, here's the thing. All fan art is bootleg. You know, it's like, I keep saying that, you know, all fan art is bootleg. You know, if you don't have the way the law states, from honestly every angle that I've come at it trying to understand it, because I've had so many people go, oh, there's a gray area, there's a gray area, there's a gray area. I have never read a gray area in the actual copyright law. It just says that if you do not have the right to use a character, you can't. You know, it's like you're creating a bootleg, essentially. And there's a lot of people at conventions who don't like hearing that. You know, that's I remember, I'm sure I must have told this story before, where I was on this Facebook group, and it was mostly, you know, it was mostly about trying to trying to find manufacturers for like for things, you know, like charms and stuff, you know, like now it's like what you can go on a lot of these websites now and do, right? And I guess this forum that I was on was inhabited by a lot of let's just say 16-year-old anime artist alley kids, okay? Anime con type stuff, you know, where and they were talking about these gray areas, and I happened to mention there is no gray area. the only reason you're getting away with all your fan art tchotchkes is because no one has come after you yet. Not because you're just skirting the law. No, it's like you're making bootleg. Oh, did they hate me so much? You know, it's like I got so dogpiled in that forum. I just said, you know what, fuck it. It's like I'm literally surrounded by children. And I have a strict rule is that I do not argue with children on the internet. I don't argue with children at all. I don't talk to children at all. And this is when I realized that what I thought was supposed to be like a kind of like a professional group was actually just anime kids, you know, trying to make their bootleg keychains and shit. So I got out of that group soon after because they were not having it. They were not having me telling them that their shit was bootleg, no matter what they did. You know, it's like, look, if a company wants to come after you, they will. They will. And it kind of reminded me of something that happened in, I guess, Disney fandom circles, where there was, for a little while, there was, I guess, like one particular person who made, I guess, like ears in the shape of like kind of like a bitten Mickey bar. You know, you get the Mickey shaped bars in the parks, and they had made ears based on that. And Disney decided they were just going to take it, and they made their own versions of it. There was a point where it was obvious that somebody was going through Etsy from Disney marketing and pretty much swiping designs. And it was the funniest shit in an evil way, because here you had all these Etsy artists crying about how Disney was stealing from them, yet all Disney was doing was stealing back their designs from these fan artists, stealing their designs. Because as far as I knew, it's like the woman who designed the ears, like even the ears. I mean, come on, really? You're gonna try to lay claim to that? So yeah, it was just really funny. So the anime kids were kind of the same way with that, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like anime cons are the worst. Yes, they are. They don't get that these anime companies aren't spending the money to legally pursue compensation. It rarely happens. And you see, and that's the thing that I was trying to get these kids to understand, that it was only by luck that they were able to do what they were able to do. But they were really insisting that, oh no, there's a gray area. And it's like, okay, you know what? All right, whatever. You know, it's like, I got my own shit to do. You know, it's like, I'm not here to literally argue with children on the internet. You know, so yeah, so I guess we're kind of in agreement that I don't know, that homage covers are kind of weird unless it's done in context to who's doing the homage, right? Because that kind of makes sense to me. You know, it's kind of I mean, which, yeah, because it's like, it's kind of like, you know, you don't do a nudie cover. Right. Disney stealing or acquiring design without legal representation is instead of precedent. Yeah, I know. It's like I said, it was really funny because it's like these Etsy artists were making essentially bootleg artwork and then got upset at Disney for bootlegging their bootlegs. You know, I mean, it was just fun to watch. What is it, Schadenfreude? You know, um, oh, like, well, variants that make sense, because it's like I still remember this one campaign. It wasn't an homage cover, but obviously somebody had gotten it stuck in their head that they had to do like a nude variant for their book. The only problem is that they were doing kind of like an all ages kids book. I mean, and it was such the cringiest shit that I've ever seen. I mean, it's like, no, bad creator. You have no context of what you're doing. Stop it. I mean, it's like, yeah. So don't do a nude cover for a book that's supposed to be all ages and for kids. And just like, don't do an homage cover if it makes absolutely no sense with your own work. You know, yeah, it's like, yeah, that, yeah, I think that those are kind of like good rules, right? I mean, but of course, like any rule, you know, any of these types of rules, it's you know, if you know, it's all, you know, do what's best for your campaign, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to judge you for it. You know, so variant covers. Yeah. You know, so when I was looking at trying to find a cover that I thought was going to work for me, it's like, you know, Kirby is one of these artists that I kind of only understood as I got older. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, I really do think that, you know, when you're younger, and especially, you know, when the Image guys, you know, they were doing their whole flashy artwork and, you know, styles and whatnot, and it's very easy, you know, to look at artists like Kirby at the time and go, you know, what is this shit? It's like, oh, this is so old, and, you know, that type of thing. And I really do think that it takes age to understand what you're looking at. So, and that's kind of like how I'm at, you know, like kind of where I'm at now too with it. So, you know, I'm looking at this, and, you know, on one hand, you know, I'm looking at Kirby's style and I go, yeah, I can understand the criticism that it's ugly. I can understand that. You know, it's just there's a certain like primitive look to it, you know. I mean, it's definitely a style, that's for sure. And it's not necessarily a style that is endearing, right? But at the same time, the more you look at it, you begin, I mean, at least I did, it's like I began to understand, oh, now I get it. You know, that I was kind of looking at the wrong things. You know, because because when I was like tracing over this piece and really like, I mean, it's very different from the John Buscema images that I was used to, you know, staring at. And I'm just I got my reference up on the other computer, that's why. If I do anything else other than stream on this laptop, it's just going to freak out on me. So that's why I don't have the artwork on this screen. I have it on that one. so so just by actually tracing this out, trying to figure out what I was going to do, I began to see, it's like, oh yeah, this is very different. This is very different than like John Buscema. Well, yeah, that it's a common complaint that I hear, but like I said, I think people are looking at the wrong things. I mean, it's like they're just kind of like, there's a lot of people out there who think that unless artwork is extremely aesthetic, they can't get into it. Like, it's very, I mean, history is full of examples. It's like, it's so, yeah, then it's like, oh, if it's not pretty, if it's not, whatever, if it doesn't fit whatever idea they have about aesthetics, pretty much, that they dismiss the artwork. And I really do think people are missing out on a lot of things by doing that. And like I said, I did the same thing. I mean, it took me a long time to understand what I was looking at. And even then, it's like, or it could be I'm reading way too much into it. It's like, that's the thing also. It's like, so the big difference between like Kirby and Buscema is that where there's a certain realistic foundation. Hold on. Hold on, what do we got here? What do we have a Jake in the house? It's like, I had the displeasure to look at some new Marvel comics today, and what I marveled at was the drop in quality. They must have been banned from hiring South Americans. So yes, so in honor of the Jake and the Joe being in the chat.
I don't know who it is, but it probably is for Hogwarts guys. I asked my friend Joe, I asked my friend Jake. They said it was for Hogwarts guys.
There we go. So yes, you are, honestly, Jake, you are correct in I don't know whether they've been banned from hiring South Americans, or they just found people to work cheaper, which I think is probably what's going on. What's going on with that drop in quality. But like I said, so the big difference that I'm seeing, that I was noticing between Kirby and Buscema, was that where Buscema's artwork, there's a certain realistic foundation to it. Kirby is extremely theatrical. Like, it's almost as if it's kind of like, it's very Shakespearean in terms of like the characters are literally acting. And I mean, like, even the way they laid out this cover, it's, with the floor Asgard, it's like, that whole thing. But the thing is, though, they did the same thing on a lot of the Conan books. They did, where it's like, it's like, oh, they had like these blurbs and stuff. But again, you could tell the difference between, Barry Windsor Smith and John Buscema and whatnot. But you get to Kirby, and it's like kind of like Shakespeare, watching Shakespeare. Everyone is over the top. It's incredibly bombastic. And I kind of think, I mean, it really is, like, it's almost like the characters are self-aware that they're in a comic book, and I kind of think maybe that's what turns people off to him, that it's not grounded in realism. And I mean, if that makes any sense. That's kind of like the weird thing, because like, when I was like sketching out the pose, that's when I was like really noticing. It's like, wow, this is kind of like over the top. It's like I was so used to like more grounded layouts, kind of. But but I think that that's kind of like what makes doing these types of like homage work, because like it's like because the whole point is for me to understand what makes these covers tick. Now that's sexy. An oversized black and white Hellboy Artisan Edition. Yeah, those yeah, I love those books. I love being able to see the pencils and exactly the way the artist drew them. Those are really good. The only thing though is the fact that they are oversized. And I literally do not have a shelf anywhere in this house where, because Jose has like a couple of those books, and we don't have anywhere where it displays properly. Like it's like they have to be piled on top of each other to fit on the shelf, so you can't take it out casually. It's a whole process. Again, I seem to be stuttering. So yeah, just kind of like wait it out, and it seems to clear out on my end really quick. So so if my footage, my video is hiccuping, just wait it out. So yeah. So that's the thing that I like. Yeah, and also the fact that they're expensive, and that's kind of like a put off too. It's like, you're expensive, and I can't put you on the shelf. I mean, it's have to make decisions here. But yeah, so when I was drawing out this pose, I'm like going, wow, this is like really like over the top. And it kind of brings home the whole thing that we were talking about with, like the homage cover has to fit the character. And yeah, it really is true. So, here we go. Let's see. I've been studying Eisner's work. I can see how him and Kirby had these breaking of rules style that work, unlike Mike Mignola. Oh yeah, no, them's fighting words. Them's fighting words, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Jake on this one. Except for the, we're still on speaking terms. But, yeah, because I actually don't agree with that. Although I do think what's happening now is that Mike Mignola is going the way of Pablo Picasso, where people have seen him do that style for so long, they think that's Mike Mignola's style. Like they really, like, it's kind of like these people who they say, oh, I'm going to paint a Picasso, and then they just put the squares and shit all over the place. And it's like, no, Picasso was an actual illustrator. It's like he's the one that says you have to know the rules in order to break them. Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, sorry, I have to, yeah, no, I'm Team Mignola here. I really, yeah, it's like I don't agree that, right, but Yeah, so people go, oh, I'm going to do Mike Mignola style, and then they just do the block shapes and whatnot. It's like they black out their characters or whatnot, and they think that that's it. And what's funny is, like, I can tell when a person is imitating Mike Mignola. Oh, excuse me. It's like, that's dust, not COVID. So I guess somebody started barbecuing outside. And oh yeah, that's barbecue. That's barbecue. And yeah, it's like, ugh. It's like, oh, I'm all choky. So yeah, so I can tell when somebody is copying Mike Mignola's style without understanding what he's doing. Just like when you see these faux Picassos, it's like, yeah, you're not understanding what Picasso is doing. They just think it's just they just look at the very superficial aspect of it, and they, oh, it looks easy. It's like, Jake, you know how it is, right? It's the people who think that, oh, that drawing anime style is super easy. It's just the big eyes and the big head, and you're good to go. And then when they actually try to do it, it's like, oh wait, this shit's hard. It's like, no, you actually have to know how to draw to understand why they're drawing like that. It's it's like so yeah, so that's kind of that's kind of the issue that I have, is the people that are now growing up misinterpreting Mike Mignola's artwork because of that. It's because and what it is, I mean, even to go back, it's people misinterpreting what Frank Miller was doing on Sin City. Because again, it's like that was like something that people do. Oh, it's just black and white. That's easy to do. It's like, no, it's not. I think who was the guy that really originated? Well, I mean, technically, the technique itself is old. I mean, it's Italian. I mean, but I'm talking about in terms of comics. I think it was, what was his name? Toth. I think he was the one. It's like, because I'm remembering like these Zorro, these old Zorro pieces where he drew Zorro out, and then he says that you draw out the full character so that you know where to black out, and he did it. He drew out the character, and then all of us, and then it's like he put like, he just covered up most of it with black, but you still recognized the drawing. Right, yeah, exactly. That's it's like my laptop here has a delay. Yeah, you have to learn the fundamentals before you have fun. Yeah, and that's the thing that's that irritates me with those type of people. They want to go straight into, I want to draw my my Sonic the Hedgehog OC, or something, or whatever, or my Attack on Titan OC, and they have no idea. Like they have no. It's like, no, you have to know how the body works. You have to know how this comes together for it to look right. And also it's like, because I remember I do have a video about that, about learning to draw correctly. I think it's my most controversial video, called Stop Drawing Anime Crap, because boy, do clickbait titles work. So, and I'm talking about, like, there's so many different styles, in Japanese art. That's like, to just call it just, anime style is very it's very stupid. I mean, it's like, let's just call it what it is. And it's like, yeah, it's better to learn. I would rather learn my foundations and do all the characters than just specifically force myself to draw Sonic the Hedgehog correctly. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's like, look, you know it. You had one. You know it. I didn't have one. I didn't. I predated Sonic. So it's like I didn't get into Sonic, you know. But you know, once you're in furry though, hella Sonic's OCs. so there is yeah. So there's no escaping from Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, and, you know, so it's just funny. So I'm penciling this out, and yeah, it's like, yeah, the pose is just so over the top. I don't want to say it borderlines on ridiculous because, like I said, it's like I'm so used to a more grounded, realistic style. But it is funny to see it. It is funny to kind of like, you know, just to see how everything is like coming together, and it's like, oh, you know, it's like, okay, like this is going to be a really nice piece when it's done. But I do have to admit, Kirby is not a style that I will be kind of you know, like I'm not going to be like working into my repertoire. Let's just say that. You know, it like this is something very specific. I mean, really, it's because, like I said, it's very Shakespearean. I don't know why Shakespeare is the word that I keep wanting to use with it, but that's kind of what it. I don't know. It's like it's very theatrical, you know. Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, yes. The anime Pop Team Epic. But yeah, so I have this video if you guys want to check it out. Stop Drawing Anime Crap. It's one of my older videos. And what's actually really funny about it is it's one of my best performing because everybody who comes across it only reacts to the title and they completely go off in the comments without watching it. So I just leave it. You know, pretty much to put it bluntly, it's like it's a video where everybody in the comments is calling me an asshole, but they never watch the video because I explain myself extremely carefully what I mean by what I'm talking about. And I even bring up, you know, all these, like how ridiculous it is to say anime crap. You know, because, okay, what are you talking about? You're saying the Studio Ghibli is anime crap, Junji Ito is anime crap. You know, it's like, you know, it's like a Miura, the guy who did Berserk, that's anime crap. It's like, really? Can you actually show me, you know, like look at those pieces and say that this is garbage? You know, I mean, honestly, at the time, I was really, really perplexed by a lot of that attitude. Well, I mean, I haven't really been. I don't know what the kids are watching anymore. You know, it's been kind of years since I kept track of it. Like, look, honestly, the last anime that I watched was Violet Evergarden, and you know, I don't think that's indicative of anything. Although, I did pick up the light novel for Goblin Slayer to kind of see what the hype is about. Yeah, so I don't know, but that's, you know, I picked up Goblin Slayer just to kind of to get an example, to buy an example of what an illustrated light novel looked like, because, you know, I was researching formats for illustrated novels, and I figured, screw it, let me kill two birds with one stone and pick up Goblin Slayer and see what the hoopla is about. So, Oh yeah, so everybody in the comments on this thing is just calling me an asshole or whatnot because again, 16-year-olds on the internet, it's like, what is it with anime that kind of like triggers all these children? It's like, you assholes, if you watched the video, you would know what I was talking about instead of just jumping into my comments. But like I said, I keep it up there because one, I know what's going on, and two, the algorithm likes it, so I just leave it there. Oh, is that pretty much the summary of Goblin Slayer? Because just by looking at what little artwork is in the light novel, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. I mean, it's very etchy. It's very it's very oh yes, there's a big old H all on this. And I think that was the problem with the whole Crunchyroll controversy, was that I think the anime actually kind of went into hentai territory, and they accidentally had it on their main, I guess, like their main screen, as opposed to putting it in their ecchi category. So people are clicking on it thinking that's freaking like, Tenchi Muyo or something. And oh, guess what? It's not. But so I figure I just try out the light novel and see what that's all about. Yeah, this piece is really funny. I do have to admit. The pose is really getting to me. I have to admit. I have to. The pose is it's very specific. It's it's like, there is no way anybody can look at this piece and not say, that's a Kirby, right? You were looking at Kirby for that, it only went 3 episodes. 3 episodes on Crunchy because you know what it is, the damage has been done. Now it's like, you pissed off all the moms that were just dumping their kids in front of the TV set. And Crunchy was not going to get away with it. So right, it's like, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's like it's not all the same. It's really not. So to have somebody just dismiss it like, it's all the same thing. It's like, oh, right. So what happened was that, so I was really like surprised that so many people had this experience where they had their teachers say, stop drawing anime crap, pretty much, And I mean, we even had a friend who experienced that. And then what was funny was that he ended up working on La Blue Girl and Tenchi Muyo. So yeah. Guess not. And now it's like, if you have an anime style or a manga, that if you have that aesthetic, you're more likely, to get work now. That. And the thing is like, when I did the video, it was in reaction to all of these people, all of these kids saying, it's like, oh yeah, I was told to stop drawing anime or whatnot. But, that was how I understood it. That it's like, no, what your teacher was trying to tell you, that you weren't learning the fundamentals to do the artwork correctly, that you were just going straight into aesthetic, and you can't, it's very difficult to grow from that if you know, because it's like you're just doing aesthetic, so you don't know where anything goes or whatnot. And then like several years later after I made that video and I kind of went back and revisited, no, the teachers were just racist. That was the conclusion that I came to on the revisit of this time. Your teachers were racist. You know, so yes, it's like it was a lot simpler. I gave the teachers way too much credit. You know. So yeah, so you know, so if you want to check it out, that's on my playlist. It's somewhere. It's on the playlist somewhere. Yeah, like I said, it's called Stop Drawing Anime Crap. You can't miss it. It still pops up a lot as a mostly watched video, you know, so it's still there. Sharpen. So oh boy. Wow, it's like, okay, so we're at 5:30 already. It's like, look at that. I mean, that this just goes to show you the whole, like, you know, yeah, motivation follows action. You know, that whole thing I like to talk about. Because like I said, I was exhausted before I came on the show. I almost fell asleep. You know, and I kind of was like a little discombobulated before, you know, at the beginning, but now it's like, oh, okay, now I'm kind of like a little bit more awake and into what I'm doing and whatnot. And the muse has blessed me with action, you know, with motivation now that I've shown the effort, you know, to work. So yeah, so always remember that, people. You know, it's like action, motivation follows action. I think, you know, yeah, I think that he did a lot of damage. I think Christopher Hart did a lot of damage with his books, honestly, because he really was just. It was yeah, and even yeah, no, he did a lot of damage. You know, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see. As teachers in junior high and high school, stop drawing only contours, shade things. Oh, that's weird, because it's like when I was at SVA, it's like drawing contours was really important. I mean, they had us do studies just based on contours. You know, because the thing is, though, is that you still have to know how things work in order to shade properly. You know, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe just a lot of art teachers suck. Is that it? Maybe that's the problem. You know, but then it's like, that's also, you also have to remember that art school is not about teaching you art. It's about adding to what you know already. You know, so you really should be like, I mean, especially nowadays. You know, it's like, honestly, it's like, I don't even see the reason for anybody to go to a dedicated art school anymore, to tell you the truth. Unless you're learning a really, really specific skill. But like, even then, it's like there's nothing you can't learn on the internet. Especially when it comes to artwork. You know, I mean, it's like, because in the end, artwork is just practice. You still have to do the work in the art part, you know? And it's like, in all the classes in the world isn't going to teach you that if you're just the type that thinks, well, I took the class, and don't you know, and don't do anything more from that. Um, because I've seen a lot of that too, and that's kind of strange. You know, it's like, no, you have to keep drawing. You have to do it. You know, it's like, it's just like with the writing. It's, oh, there was a question that someone had asked on Facebook. It's like, you know, like how to, I forgot how they worded it. You know, it was the usual, like how to improve, you know, doing comics. And the answer that everyone, including myself, was telling him was, well, you have to expose yourself to more comics. You have to read more comics. You have to look at more comics. Just like if you want to be a better writer, you have to read books. If you want to be a better artist, you have to keep drawing. You have to be exposing yourself to other artists in the legal way, not in the non-consensual way. You have to, you know, like you have to be looking up other artists, and you have to be drawing, constantly drawing. You know, it's like, that's how, you know, you improve. And even if it's just to know what not to do, because we have a friend where he goes out of his way. He says that he goes out of his way to not look at bad artwork, because he says that, you know, even as a joke, you internalize what's wrong with that artwork, and before you know it, you're kind of subconsciously doing it. But one, bad artwork is really subjective, so I wouldn't really know like how to like even judge that. But at the same time too, it's like, look, everything, you can learn from everything, you know. And it's kind of like, I you know, and it's kind of like the people go, oh, you only study successful people. And again, another thing that I like to say is that success doesn't tell you anything, but failure leaves a roadmap, you know. So, you know, it's like, yeah, it's like, I think that everybody's artwork has a value, positive and negative. You know, it's like you learn what to do, what not to do, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You know, at least you learn that. You know, like this piece right here, you know, this piece right here. So it's like, okay, as much as I'm liking the way this piece is coming out, this is not a style. This is not a layout style that works for me. This is not something that I'm going to be adding to that I'm not going to be keeping in mind, pretty much. But I know that now. You know, it's like I'm doing this piece for a specific reason. But what I'm learning from it is that this style doesn't work for me. You know, it's like I said, it's way too theatrical, way too cartoony. I mean, that's, if that makes any sense, you know, it's way too cartoony. And yeah, and it's like, it's not something that I'm going to continue, like, deliberately study because of that. But I know now, you know, it's like curiosity sated. Let's just put it like that. Yeah, it's well, right. I mean, but cartoony in terms of layout, not how he's drawing it. Like I said, the poses that he uses are very specific. You know, like Kirby is Kirby for a reason. You know, because Will Eisner has a very cartoony style. I mean, if you're talking style, I mean, he has a very cartoony style. In fact, a lot of the European comics that I follow, that I collect, very cartoony style. But it's a cartoony that's based in realism, where Kirby almost had like this whole abstract thing going. You know, I mean, it's yeah, yeah, it's yeah, his posing, his yeah, not necessarily the style, not necessarily the style. Okay, now here comes the. Okay, now we gotta. Let's see. Yeah, so okay, yeah, so I'm just like, so like I said, so now that I have like a better printout to work from. Oh, okay, yeah, Kirby is one that he prioritizes scene shots over character shots. I think this is why you talk Shakespeare. Just recalled me and a good buddy of mine discussing this a while back. Yeah, yeah, that would okay. That makes sense to me. That it's like the way the scene works. I mean, because yeah, it's very yeah, I get that. I definitely definitely get that. But yeah, but now that I have like a good printout of this as opposed to the shitty JPEG that I was working on the initial sketch on, um, so it seems that okay, I have gotten like a lot of the, the poses wrong on the background characters. So yeah, so this is okay. So yeah, so this is what so we have the basic. So we have the basic like so this is what I got so far. So what I have to do is I have to go back in and okay, one I have to add the guy that goes here. So I have to put him in because I said in the original JPEG I didn't know what was going on here, so I thought maybe it was like I don't know like I don't know what you know what I didn't know what it was, so I just like put rocks and you know but no, it's another body. So I'm going to be putting that. So I'm going to be putting another dragon here. I'm going to clarify the one that's here. Right. This guy seems okay. I mean, he's back here. He'll probably be okay. So these two I'm not quite happy with. So I want it to look more like how they look here. So I'm going to like fix that up too. I mean, so yeah, so this is where the light box comes in and I can just fix it up, you know, but like this guy and this guy I can pretty much still work with. Like I said, this guy I just have to clarify a bit. Probably I'll end up light boxing him too. But you see, but this is the thing, though. This is the thing. You know, it's like, yes, I am going to be tracing these because this is the point of the piece. You know, I want it. It's like, yes, I am tracing specifically this cover because I want it to look as close to the source material as possible while still being my characters. You know, so yes, it's like, so yeah, so but the thing is, though, again, I have another video on my playlist somewhere where I talk about using reference and, you know, how it's not cheating. Using reference is not cheating. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's a lot of work. Tracing is a lot of work. You know, it's like, I want this to look a certain way. So instead of just sitting here trying to guess what I'm looking at, it's like, look, why reinvent the wheel? Because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I want the piece to look like this. So I'm going to light box the shit out of it. But in the end, though, I'm not recreating a Kirby. That's the thing. It's like, I'm not tracing it so that people will think that, oh, Kirby did that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I just want to get the exact essence of the layout, so that it's obvious what it is. I want people to know what this is. I'm not, it's like, it's not like Greg Land. You know what? It's like, yeah, he's I'm going to give no. She's gonna have the sword. You see, and that's the thing. That's what we were talking about before. Context, right? So I'm doing a Kirby homage, using Thor, but the piece itself is going to be in context to my work. It's like, so I'm not changing. I'm not dressing Egoraven up as Thor. This is technically an Egoraven cover using this Kirby cover as a base, as an homage. I mean, it's like that's the difference. That's what we were talking about. Like it's still in context to what. So good night, Jake. Good night. Thank you for coming in. So yeah, so I'm not, so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, she's not going to have a hammer. I'm still going to put a sword in her hand. I guess because you can't really see it in the sketch here, but yes, there is a sword here. I guess like, yeah, you can kind of get a sense of it here now. So what was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, okay. So you haven't gone on hiatus yet. Yeah. So Jake is going to cocoon himself, where he will turn into a gelatinous fluid and hopefully come back to us a brand new Jake. All refreshed. And ready to tackle comics again. I mean, because look, sometimes we just have to do that. So but thank you for coming on into the chat anyway, Jake. You're always welcome. You know how it is. You know it. So so that's pretty much where I am with this piece right now. So let me see if I could just try to get this. But I mean, it's like, look, as weird as this piece is for me, I'm still incredibly happy with it. I hope that the finished piece, that Glenn enjoys the finished piece and uses it. And even if he doesn't, I'm gonna use it anyway for something. So either way, this piece, everyone's gonna see the finished piece for this somehow. Now, mind you, the one Kirbyism that I'm still debating though, of maybe changing. Yes, exactly. Is the fact that he just has a white background here. I mean, of course, I understand why, so that the logo pops out more and whatnot. So, also, I'm kind of debating whether I should use the kind of like flat coloring on this piece, like just kind of like imitate the very primary colors on here. I mean, I haven't decided how far I wanted to take this yet. Yes, I have done commissions. Right now, I have a waiting list that I want to get through before I open it up again. And also, there's very specific pieces that I'm doing for people that I've also promised pretty much. So yeah, so that's currently what's happening. That's why I don't talk about commissions, because I just can't take them right now. Like I said, I have a waiting list that I promised all these people that when I'm able to do it, I will contact them. And yeah, so I'm slowly getting through that. Which is also the reason why I do not take money in advance for commissions until I am sketching it. Because I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, you pay me the money, but it's like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. And then it's like 5 years later, you still haven't gotten your commission. So I am not going to be that person. I am not going to be that person. So, yeah, so I've got, so like I said, I got to get through that list before, but definitely, once I go public with a list, you will know. You will know, and unfortunately, that list will probably, fill up really quickly. So, I guess that's a cue to be on my mailing list, so that you get notified, if the commissions become available. So okay, I think I'm going to stop right here for now with this. We have a couple of more minutes. I'll just continue putting in a couple of little things here that I forgot. Like I said, I have my reference over here, so because it's not in my face, I'm missing a couple of things. So. But yeah, though, I just have to say again, I really am looking forward to doing those black and white illustrations for this novel. Just like I said, I haven't really done dedicated pieces in a while. The closest that I get to is when I do pinup. Well, I do the illustrations for the Oswald Chronicles chapbooks. But I mean, but to do like a full novel, and like I said, I can imagine this book in my head, you know. So I'm just like really excited for it. All right, so I think I'm going for the stream. It's for the stream anyway. So this I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully I can finish this piece soon. Oh my goodness! See, that's why I kept the tape. So now there we go. So I could just stick it like that. Yeah. There we go. So here we are. So this is the partial pencils for my Egoraven Jack Kirby homage cover, which hopefully will grace the cover of Comics Unlimited if I get everything to Glenn in time to publish. You know, but hey, that's the life we lead, right? It's not like we get paid for any of this, so. You know, that's how it goes. So yeah, so that's pretty much. So let me just do the rounds here, make the awkward turn, you know, and let's see. Okay. All right, so let me just scoot over here. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. You see, because that's the thing. Also, the benefit of having the screen, like doing this on a stream. So, you know, so I'm staring at it. I'm staring at the original over here, but when I'm seeing it on the screen, it's like I'm kind of seeing it for the first time. It's kind of weird. You know how they tell you to flip the artwork and look it up to, you know, so you look at it backwards, and I think this is kind of the same thing. It kind of like your eye treats it like it's looking at something new, and I'm really pleased with it from what I'm seeing on the screen. So I'm, you know, so yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's still a very strange pose, but I'm very happy with how it's coming out. So let me okay, so let's do that, and let's do this. There we go. So yeah, so there we have it. Poof. There we go. So there we have it. We're at the top of the second hour. I didn't think I would make it. Yeah, like I said, I was really out of it right before the stream. Let me just get this out of the way. Okay. There we go. So yeah, so thank you everybody in the chat for joining me, Nicholas, Joe, Okia Fern, you know, everybody who popped in and kept the chat rolling. I'm glad that you liked the conversation enough to carry it over. So thank you very much for that. Thank you everybody who's watching. I see, you know, on my screen it says there's 6 viewers watching. Thank you so much. I'm glad you made it this far, that you found it interesting all the way through. So thank you for that. So yeah, so if you are interested in seeing more of my artwork and seeing more of Egoraven and all this other stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site right here at egoworks.com. EGOWRKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, including these right here. But I mostly post to Facebook, where that's usually where I put up all my sketches and doodles and work in progress and updates and whatnot. So yeah, I mostly hang out on Facebook, but I have, links in the description box. I have a link tree, the whole thing. So if there's anything specific from me you're looking for, there's a link for it. So check that out. So also don't forget to like, subscribe, share, the whole thing to make the YouTube algorithm happy. Especially subscribe, especially hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I go live here on my own channel and simulcasting on the Ragin 2 network as well. Like I said, it's not going to kill you to hit that subscribe button on both our channels. It's for free. It's not like anything else. So just go ahead and press it. I'm trying to get over this obnoxious 940 on my channel. I don't know, for some reason, it just, I'm hitting a wall there. So help me, help a girl out to get over 940. At least let me stare at 940 for a while. So if you want to learn more about my comics, sign up for the free downloadable PDFs by signing up for my update newsletter. And if you go to the website, you can also read the first 5 issues of Egoraven, Heir of the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format. If you want to check it out before the next Kickstarter comes up. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. And just as a reminder, Tall Tales will be launching on Kickstarter June 13th. So the pre-launch page is live. Sign up to get notified. That's probably the mail, so I'll check it in a minute. And yeah, just so sign up because I have some really cool stuff, really cool things. If you're one of the early birds that pledges on the first day, you might get a sketch card added to your pledge. You might get a Tall Tales goodie bag added to your pledge. You might get both if you're early enough. So make sure that you sign up and get, and pledge. Oh, look at that. Oh no, where's my border? Here we go. And sign up, because you don't know what extra goodies you will get in your pledge if you're there on the first day. So on that note, I want to thank everybody again for joining me. Join me on Friday, where I will be with Nita on our vlog show. And join me in about an hour where I will be holding Nita's hand on Mark Torres's show, It Came From the Radio. The link is in the chat at the very beginning if you missed it. So thank you again. And and on that note, what are we ending up with? What are we ending at? You know what? Yeah, let's go out. Let's go out the old school way. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hear me. The Thorn Valley Plan is the aspiration of idiots and dreamers. We were just talking about you.
That's refreshing, Jenner. Usually you're screaming about it.